Hello everybody, my name is Farmer Phil, and in today's video we are starting the wet blast parts of the 1200. We're going to do the engine and the front axle, and we're here with Sam from Applied Concepts.
Yeah, that's it.
I keep here saying Applied Systems or Concepts.
No, anyways, Applied Concepts.
Applied Concepts. So we're here. He's after coming up to us to set us up with the Applied...
The Aquablaster 140 litre. Yeah.
So, and that was dropped up to us quite some time ago.
It's been a year or so now at least. Yeah.
So the planets have aligned, and we're now literally moments away from getting the first bit of blasting done, and hopefully won't be the last.
No.
But anyway, so Sam is going to run through the machine and set it up there, just so we know. Part of this is I'm filming it, so then I can look back at it when we go to blast anything in the future, and I know how to set it up myself. And for anyone that's watching that's interested, you'll know yourself.
Right, so this is the big brother of the Aquablaster, right? The standard machine is the 100 litre, this is the 140. Normally you would have this inside in a shed, you would keep it as a standalone thing and have a wash bay for blasting. It's our wet sandblasting machine. So you have water injected at the nozzle, you can see it here. This is your water induction nozzle, your water line comes in, and as your abrasive in your air goes through the pipe, it soaks the abrasive, just making it dustless. So you don't cover all the nice cars and equipment in the yard with dust everywhere. It'll literally fall straight on the ground within 2 meters of the part you're blasting. You see, today we're going to run it from the vary mount. So we have plenty of air, but we have a nice small nozzle on there because we need to get into the little nitty gritty areas around the engine and that. We're going to be blasting with crushed glass. So it's a fine crushed glass, it's recycled. If you think of your Tesco bottle banks, that's where the glass comes from. It'll leave a lovely finish on the steel there, ready for primer and two-pack. These machines we're fully manufactured in Offaly, so we're very, very proud of that fact. We're making them since 07. So these Aquablasters now they're starting off in the last year, so they're blowing up that way.
So the water you put in an additive.
Yeah, so with the water blasting, obviously if you were blasting normal steel, you'd have surface rust 20 minutes, half an hour later on it. What we do is we have, it's called Solutite, it's a rust inhibitor. You mix it in 100-to-1 ratio into the water, and you're good for 3 days before you'd see any rust on it. You can leave it outside overnight in the rain down on top of it, doesn't matter, you won't get any rust out of it. Even if you were dry blasting with an older compressor and you had a bit of moisture coming down the line from that compressor, that'll solve your problems, and you at least have a couple of days before you go put primer onto it.
Yeah, that's it. That is it.
That is it. Yeah, it's a very simple machine. It's not overly complicated that way. You'll see now in 2 minutes time, it'll only take us 2 seconds to set up all the settings. Once you have settings done, away you go.
Happy days. Happy days. Engine's ready to come out. So Father Phil was just putting on the
caps
on caps
on the injectors.
Yeah, to keep it all safe. So yeah,
the pipes that was on it wouldn't stick to that.
No,
they didn't stick opening, did they?
Last thing we wanted water inside.
Yeah. So the engine is out, where it can easily be seen. So we'll have her fully washed. You can see where Father Phil has put on all the caps onto the injectors. So keep everything right. And you can see the original, I think Stonely Grey was the colour that the chassis and engine and that were painted on the tractor. And you can see then the red primer underneath. And you can see the yellow that was sprayed at some point. So all of that will be coming off. That's Stonely Grey, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Grey, yeah.
That's Stonely Grey, and then that's the red primer that would have been under. Or
it mightn't even be primed.
It might. Is that
back in the day, paint was dear. Oh, I can leave that there. Oh, block that in there, and that's it. You're good to go.
are we missing a cap? Are we?
No, we have enough caps.
Oh, you have enough caps.
I have enough caps. I don't mind about the tops of the injectors. They're all going to be stripped down now anyway and done. So, back does get in. The pump has been done as well. We have a small diesel leak.
Yes.
So that's why the pump is coming off.
It's still leaking.
Change it.
I was wondering why there was stuff on top
That's
of
where
it.
it's coming out.
And that's getting into something, that's why the sump was...
Yeah. That's an old engine because normally anytime I ever worked on that, all I had an aluminium rocker cover.
Oh.
It's cast.
Okay. Cheers.
That's cast.
That's the cast is totally different to be blasting. It's almost like mild steel.
Yeah.
It just takes it away.
Fly it off.
Yeah. When
How
it's
will
in
it-
this condition anyway. If it's a new
Yeah.
cast, you know, like if you're doing
Oh, yeah.
benches and that, it's notorious stuff to blast.
Is it?
Oh, it's very, very hard.
Oh.
So that's the
Crushed glass.
crushed glass.
Yeah. So we just throw it into a sieve there in case anything might be inside in it, and you give it a shake, let it go through the sieve. You can see it's just all bottle bank glass.
Yeah. You see all the shade of green and everything.
The Bulmers and Heineken bottles. That's it, that's it.
The only blasting I ever done was with silica sand. Fucking leak and stuff.
Silicosis.
Yeah.
You get the lung disease. Do you know it's been banned in Ireland since '85?
Okay.
Sand
Sand
for blasting.
for blasting.
Yeah.
Even though it's car in there now, we might blast it. It will not be blasted again now, but that be blasted was very fine.
The machine, let's say this is your main pressure regulator, right?
Yeah.
So this corresponds to your vessel pressure, so which is what you're blasting at. The Aquablaster, the vessel itself, is slightly higher, about kind of half a bar, 0.2 of a bar higher than the hose underneath, so that the abrasive is blown into the blast hose, right? Stops blockages from happening that way. Otherwise, you're just relying on gravity. So if you're going on a damp day like this or anything like that, the air can be a little bit damp. You'd want to avoid blockages that way.
Yeah.
But the Aqua kind of goes around it. We're blasting steel, so there's no reason for us not to utilise what the Varyman could do. So the Varyman's going to put out 10 bar,
Yeah.
and we're going to have it at about take over on idle around 180, 200 CFM,
Yeah.
and that there because we're using an 8mm nozzle with it. So we're going to have this lad up to the last. To start off with, we're going to turn the water and the abrasive off.
Yeah.
We're just going to have air, and I'm going to get you to rev up the tractor when I get 10 bar on the indicator. That you can leave her at that.
Leave her
then.
at that, yeah.
Water pressure will, after we've air set, we'll push your water on, or your water on here, and we'll just up the pressure a little bit, just so it starts coming out the nozzle.
Yeah.
You want the tiniest little bit, like a mist.
Yeah.
You know. There's no point in the water falling out the end of the nozzle. You're just wasting it, especially when we've rust inhibitor in it.
Yeah.
Right? At very, very low like that, she's only going to use an IBC's worth in about 20 hours. Right, right, because it's only making it dustless.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's all. That's all.
you need to do.
All it's doing. It's of no benefit to you to crank it up that way.
Yeah.
I have lads that would often wash out sheds and stuff that they might have air. They'll add water onto it. They'll crank the water pressure all the way up to 6 or 7 bar and have it blowing down and washing at the same time as blowing it out. Whatever you're up to. But they're not using abrasive on this.
Yeah.
So we're blasting, so we're just going to have it creeping on. Abrasive is always the last one to go on. And you can see here down the side we have little black and white lines on the side of this knob here, which 1 to 8 you get all the adjustments, and there's half quarter that way, so you can make quarter turn adjustments on it. Here we're using a very fine abrasive, so we're going to start it around the 3 mark. So you come in here from the side, you see the
3.
white, black,
yes.
yeah.
That's your regulator for your abrasive coming out.
Exactly.
All right.
This will not allow abrasive to go through it unless there's air supplied to it,
Yes.
which is what the switch on the front of the machine is for.
Yes.
On a normal dry blasting machine, you have air, it starts and you get a big waft of abrasive comes down and you have half a bag on the floor already.
Aye.
And then eventually the compressor kicks up and it regulates itself. This, it won't open until it reaches that top pressure, and then it'll allow the abrasive in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, it's all little bits, little
Right,
tweaks
tweaks.
and changes
Yeah.
that we did to make it more efficient and
Yeah.
a bit more economical that way as well. Because if you were stopping and starting, you could very easily lose 100 kilos in a day. Like.
Oh, hand, you know.
You know. So we'll set it at 3 and we'll go from there. If we need to make adjustments, we'll just do half turns on the wheel.
Yeah.
And that's about it. That's
Air pressure.
Right.
air
I'll let
pressure,
you.
yeah, we'll
Are you
start
doing
there.
that?
Oh yeah.
Right. I'm going to show Halfie into the gear.
So, you see here, it's supplying it at 10 bar,
Yes.
because that's what it's putting out. At the moment, the vary mode's dissipating all the air underneath. When I press the dead man, because we're using the nozzle to restrict the airflow, I get a proper pressure just around 7 bar. That's what we need for steel blasting.
Yes.
So now what I'm going to do is put the water on, I'll turn my pressure down, pull the dead man, and we'll wait for the water to siphon through the system. Up a half turn at a time. That's rubber, yeah, perfect. I'm going to go all in here. You what? And I leave them?
Oh, you can see, you should blast.
Well, no, will I? That's all right.
Oh, you can, but I have to replace them pipes anyway. So,
Okay, right.
you know.
This is doing some job. Because we thought we had it clean.
I want to just turn
No,
down that.
you can see the muck coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And you watch that fight.
I watched that twice now. But I wasn't getting the real.
No.
No.
But like, there's nothing. You won't get that. You couldn't do that with a wire wheel.
No.
Sure.
Hey, you might be.
Maybe about 10 of them.
Come 2 or 3 nights out.
Yeah, that's it.
Right, keep going.
Some job. So that is the engine blasted. Not an easy thing to do.
Oh God, definitely one of the worst jobs I've ever done. What did I say to you beforehand? Maybe 10, 15
minutes.
Yes, I'm at that an hour now, I'd say.
You'll have a silage trailer done as quick.
Oh, exactly. It's every little nook and cranny will throw it everywhere, and you have to get the right angles for it. But look, there's no comparison. I mean, if you were to go at that with a wire wheel, you'd need to strip the whole thing down and lay it out and start going at it. Like, there's no other way of doing it.
Like it's back back to
Oh,
the bare.
she's back to bare metal. Like.
Back to bare metal.
She's ready for prime. She's ready for priming now. Look how that aluminium just cleaned up. But
Yeah, lovely, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. Even the cast, it took a while now, but it did cut into it.
Yeah.
No, I'm happy enough. Look, obviously there's one or two spots that you could niggle over and go in at them and spend a bit more time at it, but
Yeah, well, look, we're not going for the showroom look now. No.
exactly.
We're going for something that's going to be used. So.
That's it.
You know what?
Um,
Done a great job anyways.
yeah.
So just want to say a big thanks to Applied and Sam for coming down and blasting this first, getting it set up, because now we'll be able to blast away ourselves. I think
It's all set up.
you want to have a go at the
We'll have a
axle
go in
now.
the next couple of days. Well, we've a job to do in the yard, and if that's done, then I'm
There we
going
go.
to do the axle.
Yeah.
Then,
Look, you've seen all the
yeah, well, it's
settings
just
and that,
it's
so-
more or less to someone in just to know set it up right,
Exactly.
and we can work from there.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
know, it's a great job. Big thanks to you.
No bother. No, absolutely pleasure.
Thank
lads.
you.
Absolute pleasure.
Do you want to say anything else, or
Easiest way to get in contact with us through Facebook, I suppose, is the best way.
Yeah.
We're also email sales@appliedpi.com. We cover even the little Baba machines. So if you're only doing brake calipers in your shed, we have a blasting machine for you too. We have one for every size, one for every job. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But no, thank you very much, Phil, for inviting us up. Thank you.
thanks for doing it.
No problem.